Here's a little Viking shock tech for you on an S550 or an S650 car. There are a few different options that you have when you go to replace your rear shocks on the S550 or S650. There are 3 different levels of shocks within Viking. There's Warrior, Berserker, and Crusader. Warrior is kind of your entry level, although they are double adjustable. All of these shocks are made in America and have a 2-year warranty. Berserker is adjustable valving that that can be replaced. So if you want to get more aggressive or less aggressive valving, you can do that on the Berserkers, whereas you can't on the Warriors. And Crusader is going to be more of your race shock that has far more aggressive options in terms of valving and performance, but they're not recommended to be driven on the street. For our car, we're going to put the Viking Warriors in there, which is the stock style replacement is the B258. But we also want to show you another option, which is the Viking B2010. And here are the differences. The 258 is a stock replacement shock, okay? So you can reuse the factory dust cover, the bump stop that's inside there, and even the factory shock mount. We also offer a heavy-duty billet aluminum upper shock mount that is far stronger than the stock one. These stock shock mounts have been known to fail. In the beginning, it seemed like it was just road course cars that were really aggressively driven, but eventually it got to the point where cars that were lowered and especially bagged, if they hit a bump the wrong way, we were seeing these factory shock mounts break. So that was when we came out with the UPR billet aluminum upper shock mounts. Much stronger, and also instead of a rubber bushing, the UPR mount has a metal bushing, which is a far more secure and a stronger mount. That all being said, you do get a little bit more NVH out of a metal bushing like we have inside of the UPR mount versus the factory shock mount. Another option that came out more recently is this 2010 shock, which has the T-bar style upper and lower mount. Now this is a really strong, I believe it's tool steel T-bolt, which you're not gonna have any breakage with this, top or bottom. And then you can see where it bolts up here, it's far simpler than the stock. So this is like a good and bad type of thing. You have polyurethane here, which is gonna be quieter than the UPR billet mounts. However, it doesn't have provisions for the factory dust cover here. So this is kind of like keep it simple, bolt it in like that and forget it. Whereas this stock style allows you to either keep it closer to the stock style or even utilize the far stronger and more heavy duty UPR billet mount. So we're going to go ahead and give you a little closer look at these shocks installed on the car to see how they differ. Okay, so here's a closer look at the shocks. This is the Viking B258. We have ours installed with the UPR billet upper mount. And there you can see the adjustment knobs down there, so it's a pretty tight reach to get in there, but that's the stock style setup. And then on this other side, we installed the B2010 just to show you what it looks like. This is definitely a simpler setup, the T-bar mount on top and on bottom. And this doesn't allow you to run the dust cover or the stock bump stop, but it does have a nice Viking polyurethane bump stop and then the Viking poly bushing in the upper mount. So this is actually a really nice setup. Hard to choose between one or the other. Either way, it's a huge improvement over the stock shocks, and these are all available at uprproducts.com.